Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by my barbecue shack. I'm Jess, and for this video, I want to show you how I make carnita tacos. And I have to tell you, they are delicious. You're going to want to see this one. First of all, we're going to start out with a big old pork shoulder roast. And we're going to soak it overnight in tomato juice and orange juice. We're really going to let that juice start to break the meat down. And then tomorrow, we're going to take it out, we're going to rinse it off, we're going to season it up, and we're going to get it on the smoker. We're going to smoke it to an internal temperature of between 150 and 160 degrees. By then it should have plenty of good hickory smoke on it. We're going to take it off, we're going to put it in a pan, we're going to cover it, and we're going to get it right back on. And we're going to start braising it. We're going to continue cooking it until it hits about 200 internal. By then it should be rendered down nice and tender. So we're going to take it off, we're going to rest it, then we're going to pull it, then we're going to fire up the Blackstone, and we are going to build some delicious tacos. Stick around, you are not going to want to miss this. Let's get started. Okay, so this is our pork butt. It's about an 8-pound pork butt. And what I'm going to start out by doing is I'm going to score this. And because we're using the smoker to build the bark on this instead of frying it, I want to create as much surface area as possible. So I'm just going to do some crisscross cuts in it, and I am going to go kind of deep because I want this to really open up in the smoker and create as much bark as possible. So now that I did that, I'm going to grab my 2-gallon Ziploc bag, and I took some jalapenos and I scraped the seeds out and I split them in half, and I'm going to add 2 glasses of tomato juice. Each glass is about 1.5 cups, so it's actually going to be about 3 cups of tomato juice total. And if you're using a can like I am, you're going to have some left over. Don't throw it away and don't drink it. We'll use that tomorrow when we braise the pork. But so just stick that in the fridge. Overnight. So a glass of orange juice, which is about 1.5 cups. There. I'm gonna stick the pork butt down in there. Make sure you get it covered really good. Put a couple more jalapenos in there. Now I'm going to close the bag, and I'm going to squeeze as much of the air out as possible because I want the pork butt to be completely covered in juice. There we go. So now I'm just going to put this in a tub, and I'm going to stick this in the fridge overnight. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning where we'll rinse it off, season it up, and get it on the smoker. I'll see you then. Hey everybody, it's now the next morning, and we are back. Our pork's been sitting in the refrigerator overnight, soaking in the tomato juice and orange juice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it out and we're going to rinse it off. Okay, we're just going to take it out of the bag here and run it under some water. Get it nice. See how it started to change color from soaking in the orange juice and the tomato juice. So we're just going to get that juice rinsed off. Shake some of that water off of it. Then we're going to bring it over here, and we're going to grab some paper towels, and I'm going to start to dry it off. I'm going to try to get as much of that. I'm going to get as much of that moisture off as possible. Boy, that's a beautiful piece of meat right there. I think we're going to be able to build some really nice bark on there. A little more paper towel. Okay. Now it's time to get it seasoned up. I'm not going to put a binder on there because it's been soaking overnight. But, so I'm just going to start out with the salt, pepper, garlic. I'm going to use the Killer Hogs AP again. That's the one that I like. It's a really good SPG. We'll just give it a kind of a light coat of that. And I'm going to be cooking it fat side down. That's why I'm starting with the fat side, seasoning that fat side up. And now, for the Mexican seasoning, I'm going to use Cattleman's Grill Mexicano seasoning. It's a really good one. I really recommend it. And so I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to go kind of heavy on this. Because this is a big chunk of meat. So don't be shy. I think this, if I remember right, this was right around 8 pounds. So then I'm just going to turn it over and repeat the process. Now this is how I'm going to be cooking it. I'm going to be cooking it fat side down. So I'm going to give it a light coat of SPG on here. Try to get in all the... And then I'm going to come back with a heavy coat of my Mexican seasoning. This Cattleman's Mexicano. Like I said, don't be shy. This is a big chunk of meat, and we're going to try to build lots of really good bark on here. Get in all the nooks and crannies there, and there's a lot. Since we scored it, it's really created a lot of surface area on here. Try to get on the end there. Try not to miss anything. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. This smells amazing. Oh, is that nice? Okay, I'm just gonna take one of my little racks right here for getting stuff on it, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit it with a quick spray of this Pam so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to put my pork right on top of it. Look at that. Look at that. I don't care who you are. That looks good. And I got the pit running at 235 degrees right now. What we're going to do is we're actually going to cook this at 2 temperatures. What I do is I start out nice and low to smoke it. And I feel like that really helps me build good bark on here, because it'll make it take a little longer to get up to 150, 160 where I want to be, and it'll give it lots of time to just, get really good on the outside. And then, once we take it off and put it in a pan to braise it, I'm going to crank the smoker up to like 275 or 280, because once you get it in the pan with all those liquids, if you tried rendering it at 230, it would just, believe me, it would take forever. It would probably turn into an overnighter. So we're going to start it at 235 to smoke it and to build that good bark on the outside, and then to braise it we're going to crank it up to 275 or 280, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So let's get it on the smoker. Okay, just take it over here, put it right in the middle on the bottom rack, and we'll close it. Now I'm not going to put a probe in it yet, because it's going to take a few hours to get it up to 150. So I'm going to wait an hour or two before I stick a probe in it and start checking the temperature. So I'll see you back in, I don't know, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we'll get a probe in it and see where it's at, and we'll start checking those temps. I'll see you then. Hey everybody, we're back. It's been about 2 hours. It's time to get a probe in that meat. So I got my probe right here. So I'm going to open it up and boy, does it look good. Man, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. So I'm just gonna get this probe right deep into the meat. You want it way in there, but you don't want to hit a bone. That's one of the things that'll throw your temperature off. Let's plug this in and see where we're at. Okay, so we're sitting at about 128 degrees. I got the thermometer set for 155. So I guess we'll see it when the alarm goes off. See you then. Okay, as you can hear, the timer's going off. We're at 157 degrees. Let me shut this off real quick. Let's check the pork. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Look at all that beautiful bark on there. I'm going to take the probe out and pull it back through the probe port over here. Then I'm going to take this off. I'll set it over here. Close the smoker. Okay, so we hit an internal temperature of 157 and I decided it was time to pull it off. And so far I am very pleased with this. I think this is just beautiful. That is a gorgeous piece of meat. Lots of good bark on there. I wish you guys could smell this, but it's time to get it in the pan and start braising it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the leftover tomato juice from yesterday. We'll put that right in the bottom of the pan. There should be just enough in there. You don't really want to add a whole lot of liquid because a lot's going to come out of the meat, and by the time this is done, you don't want to take a chance of the pan overflowing. I'm going to add 1 can of Rotel tomatoes, and I did drain them. I took the water out of them because, like I said, I didn't want to add too much. I got some fresh jalapenos. All I did was scrape the seeds out of them and slice them up. And here's some onions that I sliced up too, and I'm gonna put those in there. And then I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm just gonna set the roast right on top of there. Oh, I just can't get over it. That is gorgeous. That is beautiful. Now, usually when I'm doing a pork butt on a smoker, what I like to do is I like to wrap it in butcher paper because I really feel like the butcher paper helps you retain all that beautiful bark that you've built. But you have a hard time wrapping something that's in a pan in butcher paper. So I came up with my own method here, and I've done it a couple times so far, and it's actually worked pretty good. And what I do is I take some tin foil and I put it under the pan like this, and then I take some butcher paper and I put it over the top, and then I kind of roll it up around it just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And get it nice and there we go. Now I'm just going to do the ends. And then I grab some string, and just to make sure everything stays nice and secure, I tie some string around it. Do one this way. Put that in there. Second. We'll get it. There we go. one piece of string. Other way. There. Now I'm just gonna cut these off. And now when I put this back on the smoker, I'm going to turn the smoker up to 275 to kind of speed things up a little bit. I'm going to warn you, since you put it in all this liquid and stuff, the temperature might drop after you put it back on. The liquid might cool it down a little bit. But don't worry, after a little while it'll start to come back up again. And we're shooting for around 200. Once we hit 200, it should be rendered down nice and tender. So let's go ahead and put this back on. Okay, now before we put it in, we have to get the probe back in. Trying to get it kind of right back where you had it, nice and deep in there. So I'm gonna open this up. Open it back on. I gotta get this back through the probe port. There we go. Back in here. Okay, now that we have the meat wrapped and back on the smoker, we have the probe in it. We have the smoker turned up to 275. It's just a matter of sitting back and letting it render, keeping an eye on those internal temperatures. Make sure they're climbing at a good steady pace. You know, at some point you might hit a stall where the temperature just stops rising. Don't worry. Give it a little time, it'll get its momentum back and start coming back up. Other than that, we're just shooting for an internal temperature of about 200 degrees. When we get there, we'll pull it off and let it rest. I'll see you then. And we are back. We just hit 200 degrees, finally. This was a long one. It's been about 9.5 hours since we first put it on. But now it's time to take it off. So we're just gonna take it off the smoker and put it on the table over here to rest, and we'll let it rest for a few minutes and then we'll be back to pull it. We'll see in a little bit. Hi there, we are back. It's been about 15 minutes since we took the pork off of the smoker. I think it's time to dig in and see what we have. I'm gonna cut the string. It's been a long day of cooking. This was on the smoker for probably about a total of 9.5 hours. So it should be good and tender. We hit that 200 degrees. We rested it for 15 minutes. Now we're gonna open it up and see what we're working with here. I am excited. This smells just amazing. Just smells amazing. Let's take this paper off and see what we got. Oh yeah. Take a look at this. Look at that. Look at all that beautiful bark. We were able to retain the bark because we used butcher paper on top. See what I told you about the liquid kind of filling up the pan? You don't want to add too much liquid. You want to add some, but you got to be careful because it will fill up. So I'm going to lift this out carefully because this is super tender. I'm going to move it over here, and just to show you how tender it is. Look at this. Look at how clean. Look at how clean this is. That bone just comes right out. It's just falling apart. Look at that. Yeah. So what I do is I just use my hands to pull it. And see this? Look at that. You can see that pink smoke ring around the outside, and all this. Oh, this is just going to be amazing. This is nice. Just comes right. But I'm sorry. I gotta get a bite of this. That's ridiculous. That is really good. Okay, we are finally done pulling all this pork. It did take a little while. That was a big roast. I called in some help on that a little bit. But we finally got it done. Now what I want to show you is what I do. I don't waste these peppers. I got a little strainer here set up across here. And I am going to pour this in here. And I am going to strain those peppers. Because I do not want to waste those peppers and onions are fantastic. So we'll get the... And even that juice, you can save that juice. You know, you can run it through a fat separator, or you can let it cool off and scrape the fat off the top. And then if you want to save it, you can. What it works really good for is if you want to reheat some of this somewhere down the line, and you want to add a little juice to it to you know, spice it up again, you can do that. And I'm just gonna dump those peppers right on top of there, those peppers and onions. I'm just gonna mix them right in, so they don't go to waste. Yeah, this is pretty fantastic. It was a long day, but this is what makes it all worth it. Just all this beautiful carnita meat, all that, and if you can see, you see all that good bark mixed right in. Oh, that just adds icing to the cake. Okay, now that we're done with this, we're gonna go set up for the tacos, and we'll be back when we have everything ready. See you in a few minutes. Okay, we are back, and this is the moment that we've all been waiting for, I think. We are gonna build some delicious tacos. We're gonna start out by putting our tortillas right here on the griddle. Start to get a little warm. Next, I'm gonna put some cheese on here. Who doesn't like cheese? Yeah, cheese in there. We gotta have cheese. Now I'm gonna put some meat on, and these are gonna be just crazy good. But I have to tell you, if you want insanely good tacos, you bring all this stuff back tomorrow, and you heat up your taco meat on this side, and you build your tacos on this side. And I am not lying. It is just unbelievable. But this is really good too. But I don't know why. Just when you bring it out the next day and you heat it back up on the griddle, it is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So now we're gonna let these cook for a minute. I like my tacos a little crispy. Give the meat a chance. Or give the cheese a chance to melt. We'll just let them hang out there for a second. Get kind of happy. Okay, I think these are just about done. See how the cheese is really starting to melt, and I know we got some. We're getting nice and brown on the back side. I think I'm gonna take these off now. And I will bring them over to the table. Here we go. Okay, here we are. First, I'm going to put a little onion on each one. You got to have onion. Just a little bit of lettuce, not too much. You got to have it. A little tomato. And then, on a couple of these, I'm going to put a little squirt of sour cream. Gotta have some taco sauce, some good taco sauce too. Don't skimp on that. There we go. Now, to top it all off, to make these really good, I'm going to put a wedge of avocado on there. A little more on this one here. Now that is a carnita taco. This is crazy. I'm gonna have to get right in on this one. Hear that crunch? That's from being on the griddle. I gotta have a bite. That is so good. This carnita meat is just next level. It is something else. And you can do so much with it. Tacos, you can make burritos out of it. And nachos, don't even get me started on the nachos. Man, they are just unbelievable. But man, these tacos are good. And then if you do them on the griddle like that, you end up with nice crispy taco shells. I can't even talk. This makes all day worth it. Right here. Right here. Man, I hope you guys try this recipe. It's a really good way to spend your day off. You know, and I tell you, it's worth it in the end when you get to build these unbelievable tacos. You know? And I hope you guys have a good day and keep barbecuing. See you next time.
Oh, I love this. Very good. I was gonna put mint in the video. No! No, put mint in the video.
Next message.
I gotta have one more. By one more, I mean my third one. These are so good. Man, I wish you guys were here. This is crazy. We'll see you later.